What's going on, guys? Welcome in the Vikings Now. I'm your host for today's Mailbag, Patrick Siepman. And like I said, today is a Mailbag on Vikings Now, where I take your questions from our bi-weekly live show, answer them live reactions. It's one of the best things we do here at Chat Sports, and I love doing it. So we kick it off with Davey Chains. He said, Vikings need to open the checkbook and pay Hunter. He's taken too many team-friendly deals. So Ian Rappaport, when you guys are seeing this, put out a report a couple days ago that teams are calling the Minnesota Vikings about potentially trading for Hunter. Initially, my thought was I really hope the Vikings don't. But if we could kind of take a trade that just happened for an edge rusher, it was Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb went for a first and a third-round pick. So I would hope the Vikings would at least get a first and a second. I think Danielle Hunter has more value on the open market than a guy like Bradley Chubb. But that's a good point, Davey. Like, Danielle Hunter has taken team-friendly deals. Like, if I had to make the choice, don't trade him. Extend him like you are saying. Like, he has earned that. I think Danielle Hunter, one of the more underrated just overall players in the NFL, definitely one of the more underrated edge rushers as a whole. He's just got an unorthodox set of pass rush moves. So, yeah, I would just pay him. Just why would we even take a chance on letting him go anywhere else? But next question coming in from 30R Man saying, will Vikings bring in Hopkins, the wide receiver? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think the Vikings really have a need at all at wide receiver. D-Hop, the last report that I had was he was actually visiting with the Tennessee Titans in this past week, excuse me. But the Vikings, obviously, you got Jefferson, KJ Osborne, Naylor, Jordan Addison. You already have four really solid receivers right there. With how much Hopkins wants to get paid, I just don't really think it's a good fit for, honestly, either side. So I would say no. I don't think the Vikings will bring in Hopkins, but good question. Thank you for asking it. Next question coming in from Skull Nations. Do you feel like the Vikings are getting disrespected? 100%. I mean, we've been talking about this a lot, and it's been kind of floated around on Vikings Twitter as of recently that the Vikings are getting disrespected, not just by national media, but by Vegas. I mean, the NFC North odds, I get the Lions are a good team. The Lions are going to be a good football team, and they are going to be a very tough out in this upcoming year. Like, they are not the same old Detroit Lions. They are a loaded football team. But for the Vikings to be at plus 270 to win the division after winning 13 games and winning the division fairly easily without really losing too many key pieces and actually bringing in a lot more key pieces, I'm honestly just shocked. And I think the Vikings are going to prove a lot of people wrong this year. I just think it's the Kirk Cousins narrative that just lives in the back of people's minds, and they just can't get over it. But right now, I think the Vikings got the best receiver, the best quarterback, the best tackle in the division, and I think their defense is going to be better. But if you guys think the Vikings are going to win 10-plus games, spam Skull in the comments section. I want today's comment section to be looking like US Bank Stadium at 11:59 right before kickoff. Get the skulls going down in the comments if you think the Vikings can win 10-plus games this upcoming year. Question coming in from Noah. He said, Hunter is best at a 4-3, but we run 3-4. Why not trade and get value? So we ran a 3-4 last season. Brian Flores actually came out and said, normally Brian Flores does run a 3-4 defense, but somebody asked him, was like, what defense do you plan on running 3-4, 4-3, and which not? He actually said it's going to depend week to week, and I do think Brian Flores, he's a smart enough guy where he will kind of switch that up week to week, and he will get the most out of Danielle Hunter. I think Danielle Hunter obviously is better with his hand in the dirt in a true kind of old school 4-3 defense. And we kind of saw the struggles last season at the beginning of it when Danielle Hunter really struggled in that 3-4 system with Ed Donatel, but we saw him kind of pick it up at the later half of last season. So Hunter, I agree, he is better in a 4-3, but I don't think it's necessarily true that we will be only running a 3-4 defense this year. I think it's going to switch depending on whatever team we play, which is also why I love Brian Flores, and I'm excited to see him be the new defensive coordinator for the Vikings. Davey Chains, this was a super chat he had. It was actually the same question you asked at the beginning. He said, just ride the bus of what we have and open up the damn checkbook and pay Hunter. Yeah, like I said, I agree. Hunter has taken too many team-friendly deals. That 5-year, $72 million deal. Yeah, it was a team-friendly deal, and now he's only set to make $5 million this year. So I totally see why Hunter is holding out. But Jaden Berry, next question, he says, do you see TJ Hawkinson potentially becoming a top-tier tight end this season? Yeah, I already think he is a top-tier tight end. Like, I think if you're talking top 5 tight ends in the league, off the top of my head, I think number 1, obviously it's still Travis Kelce. Number 2, probably George Kittle. But number 3, I think it's open for debate. Like, I think you could throw TJ Hawkinson in there. Mark Andrews, Darren Waller. Those would be the 3 guys that kind of came to my mind off the top. But TJ Hawkinson, I expect him to have a very big year. Second year under Kevin O'Connell's offense. Second year paired up with Kirk Cousins. And we all know Kirk Cousins, even dating back to his days in Washington, he absolutely loves his tight ends. That's his safety valve. That's his safety blanket. So TJ Hawkinson, if we're talking fantasy football, take a flyer on him. Scully Rolly saying, who do the Vikings need to step up next season? One player that I think needs to step up for the Minnesota Vikings next season, I'll go Lewis Cine. Lewis Cine, the safety, the box safety for the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, he's kind of bad, or he is coming back from a compound leg fracture in his left leg that was suffered against the New Orleans Saints last season in London. But again, versatility with Lewis Cine. He can play almost some linebacker. He can play some free safety. He can play some strong safety. And versatility. That's the number 1 word with Brian Flores' defense is versatility. And that's what Lewis Cine offers. So I expect Lewis Cine. I think he's going to have a big year. And if he has a big year, I overall just think this Vikings defense will have a much better season. Knack with the next question. He said, hashtag Vikings. Sign Hunter, JJ, and Hawk unless we get a great haul for Hunter. Then bring in some edge rushers. Use capital to move up for a QB next year. I don't hate the idea. I'll kind of focus in on the second half of your question of using capital to move up for a quarterback next season. I'm all in that boat. Like, next year's quarterback class is absolutely stacked. You obviously got the 2 top dogs in Caleb Williams and Drake May. But then you got guys like J.J. McCarthy, Spencer Rattler, those kind of later first-round quarterbacks who do have a ton of talent. Obviously, the Vikings do end up not extending Kirk Cousins. That 1 year, $35 million left on his contract. It's going to be curious to see. I will say, I wonder how far Kirk Cousins has to take this team to get another contract. Originally, I said bare minimum the NFC Championship. I wonder if it could be the Super Bowl. Like, even if he does reach or have the Vikings get to the NFC Championship, I could easily see Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell wanting to draft their guy and kind of groom their own guy. That's a good, interesting point coming in from Knack. I would be all in on using capital as well to move up for a quarterback next season. Joey Tana saying, I want to sign Adrian Peterson for a mentorship. Yeah, this was thrown out last season. Adrian Peterson, it was actually on a Fort Worth radio station down here in Texas. He said he's open to a return to the NFL, but he did say if no teams end up calling, he will retire. And Adrian Peterson, I'm not lying when I say this. The man's 38 years old, and we have seen running backs in the NFL hit a cliff when they hit 28. The man is 38 years old. He's the same age as LeBron. I mean, AP, I love him. He's my favorite Viking of all time. I loved watching him in the purple and gold. It would be cool, like on Sunday, to see him back with the 28 on his jersey with the purple and gold stripes. Like, no doubt, that would be awesome. But I don't know. I just don't really think it's too likely. Noah with the next question saying, of all Vikings players this year, who will have the best season? I'm guessing, gone this year, who will have the best season? I'm guessing Duke. Talking about Duke Shelley. Of all that left, so like Adam Thielen, Eric Kendricks, Patrick Peterson went to Pittsburgh. I'm actually going to go Adam Thielen. I'm going to go the hometown kid, Adam Thielen. He went to the Carolina Panthers. I just think Thielen's going to be a great safety blanket for the young quarterback, Bryce Young. I think Thielen will do a great job of mentoring Bryce Young and making him feel very, very comfortable. So I'll go Adam Thielen to answer this question. But also Duke Shelley. The Raiders have a shaky quarterback room, and Duke Shelley's going to need to step up. That was the one guy I was really pissed the Vikings didn't bring back. But yeah, I'll go Adam Thielen for that question. Good question, Noah. Last question coming in here from the greatest ever. He's saying, should the Vikings sign Dalton Risner? So Dalton Risner, the Denver Broncos or former Denver Broncos interior offensive lineman. He is the best free agent offensive lineman left on the board. Past season, he played in 15 games, only allowed 3 sacks, 6'5", 312 pounds. He would overall be a better option right away than a guy like Ed Ingram or Ezra Cleveland, in my opinion. But I still want to see Ezra Cleveland and Ed Ingram develop under their own. sign Dalton Risner, I'd be in. It would just have to come down to the financials and just the money that the Vikings would end up giving him. But I'll toss it your guys' way. Would you sign Dalton Risner? Give me an S for sign or give me a P for pass? I'm very curious to see what you guys got to say because I'd be okay rolling out Ed Ingram and Ezra Cleveland again this upcoming year. But let me know, S for sign or P for pass. As always, thank you guys so much for watching today's show. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. If any news comes out about Danielle Hunter or Dalvin Cook or anything about a Justin Jefferson contract extension, we will have a video for you guys ASAP. It's been a ton of fun talking Vikings with you guys today. And as always, we'll see you guys next time. Let's go Vikes.